This next story will warm your heart despite the frigid weather. A Hamilton family is coping with a child with terminal brain cancer, but community support and some special church pews are making their spirits brighter. Lisa Heffner has more on what's being called the Master of Awesome.
On the afternoon of Christmas Eve, Hamilton musicians Tom Wilson and Mimi Shaw sang to a 14-year-old whose hospital bed is set up in his living room next to the tree.
Isaiah doesn't say much nowadays, but for him, he was really happy. He was really touched, and he loves music, so it was really nice for him to have people singing with him and things like that. So it was great.
The bed hasn't been here long. In September, Isaiah Ritchie started high school. He was in the band, about to try out for football, and was planning the purchase of his first car. In October, he started vomiting and getting dizzy, and it got worse from there. The family learned Isaiah has a rare type of children's brain cancer called DIPG.
Most tumors are like in a ball, and they would sit somewhere in your brain. This tumor, the way the doctors have described it, it grows kind of like a weed. So it's not contained, it grows like through all the nerves. It's really hard for him to speak nowadays because he's so exhausted. And it's even hard for him to sleep because a lot of the time with DIPG it affects like their optic nerves a lot. So sometimes his eyes will want to shut when he doesn't want them to, or open when he doesn't want them to.
Kids usually live for less than a year after the diagnosis. The only treatment is radiation.
Radiation is supposed to slow the tumor down, and they say that it more than likely will start growing again within, there's a median time of 9 months.
Now Isaiah's story is spreading through the community.
The James Street Baptist Church was bought by a Toronto developer back in June, and eventually it'll be part of a new condo tower. But in the meantime, the developer has been selling these original pews and giving the proceeds back to the community. People are calling them the pews that keep on giving.
Maggie Steele is the church realtor.
At the same time that I was asked by Stanton to find a local family to help at Christmas, another client told me he was holding a silent auction in a church in the East End for a child with brain cancer and the family. So I thought, well, let's connect the two together.
It started with generous gifts, and then came the living room concert.
I didn't realize that there was people like that out there still.
The family now has a new group of friends to spread awareness. The campaign is called the Master of Awesome.
Isaiah calls himself the Master of Awesome. That's how he refers to himself. He's a very gifted kid. He's always been out there. He does a lot of amazing things.
There is now a Facebook page called Isaiah Ritchie, the Master of Awesome, and it's where the family has begun raising awareness about this disease and also raising funds for a group of researchers who have been studying it. There really is very little information out there other than a string of heartbreaking web pages set up by families who have lost children to this. Tess?
It's heartbreaking, especially this time of year. All right, thanks so much, Lisa Heffner.